Um, I'm going to talk briefly about AI, and just in case you're not familiar with the history of AI, and then I'll get into talking about AI speakers or smart speakers. Um, I want to preface this by saying that unfortunately this year, maybe like a lot of other researchers, we were not able to finish all of our research dealing with virtual reality due to the coronavirus. And so we'll be a little bit top heavy on the artificial intelligence aspect of our presentation. So we are sorry about that, although Obadi Sensei does have some VR results that he will talk about briefly. Let me get into a little bit about artificial intelligence in case you're not familiar. This is a very brief definition. It's an interdisciplinary field that focuses on the simulation and reproduction of human intelligence and thinking processes. AI is used to describe machines and computers that are able to mimic or approximate cognitive functions associated with the human mind, such as learning and problem solving. Going back through centuries, even in the 17th century, there were scientists who were interested in looking at the brain and human beings and seeing if they could recreate them in their laboratory. So the roots of AI goes back centuries. And but the term AI, artificial intelligence, was first coined at the Dartmouth Conference back in 1956. And so these are the founding fathers of AI. I don't know if you're familiar with any of these names. I know Marvin Minsky from MIT. All of these guys are the patriarchs of artificial intelligence. Looking at a timeline of AI, I've highlighted just a couple here you might be familiar with. I just mentioned 1956, the birth of AI at Dartmouth. You might have remembered 1997, IBM Deep Blue, who beat a chess world champion. And more recently, Google came out in 2012 with the Now voice assistant. And 2015, Amazon came out with Echo. Just another brief outline. I don't want to say too much about AI, although I probably have already. 1950s, AI focused on problem solving. The 60s and 70s moved toward the creation of intelligent robots. The 80s on neural network. The 1990s on internet technology and network environments. And then in the 2000s until recently, more interactive robots, big data, IoT, deep learning, and so forth. Stephen Hawking, the famous scientist who passed away, I guess about a year ago, he said, "The rise of powerful AI will be either the best or the worst thing ever to happen to humanity. We do not yet know which." And Elon Musk, the famous billionaire industrialist, says that AI is a fundamental existential risk for human civilization. At the current rate that it's advancing, AI will one day cross over a threshold, and humans may forever lose the ability to control it. So, like many people, we have our doubts about AI and our fears. But AI, of course, has many upsides and many positive aspects. And one is in education. AI has had a very positive effect so far, we feel, although it's not yet ready to replace teachers, which is a good thing for us. But we think of AI as augmenting our field and our tasks in the classroom. There is a real potential of AI to therefore extend human capabilities and the possibilities for teaching, learning, and research. These are the most frequently used technologies in AI today. I think if you look at things, we're going to talk about virtual assistants with the smart speakers, which involves natural language processing. But recently, Japan has been spearheading self-driving technologies and the robotics field as well. And so AI has been advancing in all of these areas. And looking at the AI speaker, which is the focus of a lot of our presentation today, it's a wireless device with artificial intelligence activated through voice command. And it is a form of a virtual personal assistant. Amazon Alexa and Google Home Mini are the two most popular assistants today. The capabilities of smart speakers can be enabled to develop new personalized skills. And if you look at a timeline of the personal assistants, Apple Siri in 2011 came out. This was the first voice-based assistant, part of a smartphone. It came out in iPhone 4S. Wow, it just seems like yesterday, 9 years ago. Google Now came out in 2012. And then finally, the first smart speaker, so to speak, first one came out in 2014 with the Amazon Echo and Echo Dot, the small version. Google hit the market in 2016 with Assistant and Home. And we're going to talk a little bit about Home Mini, the small version. Just last month, Amazon came out with its 4th generation Echo. Down here you can see, I'm sorry, the bottom center, the blue one, the new one has a state-of-the-art microphone and speaker system. Of course, it's a little more expensive. We'll show you the pricings of these at the end in case you're interested in purchasing one. And then also recently, Apple hit the market with the HomePod Mini. Just a few facts about smart speakers. Alexa holds about a 70% market share at present. And you might not know that smart speaker sales now are more than smartphones and tablets, most likely due to the inexpensive, the difference in cost. 1/3 of smartphone, smart speaker owners, they use their smart speaker instead of using their smartphone for many of their tasks. 1 in 5 adults in the US now have access to a smart speaker, and that prediction is to increase up to 55% of households by 2022. And but only 4% of the world's population now at present has a smart speaker. These are the common uses, of course, looking for online information. Did you know web searches now, 50% are done by voice command. Listening to music, of course, a smart speaker has a great speaker system, so a majority of people just like to tune into their favorite playlists. Ordering products, looking for recipes, all kinds of things now that you can do with your smart speaker. And if you look at a breakdown by time of day, early morning, checking the weather in the news and traffic and things, midday, creating lists, shopping lists and things like that. Dinner time, looking for a restaurant to go to, checking out a recipe, family activities, games and things like that.